Yo, welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. It's Oscar and we're back again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about kind of like a 2025 poker chip, kind of old casino chip buying guide. I've noticed over the last year and a half or two, lots of phone calls at work, along with new people joining pokerchipper.com, PCF, the chipboard, Facebook groups, everything you can probably imagine. There's been a whole bunch of people joining the hobby. They want to figure out what chips to buy, what are the options, price ranges, what's available, because most people are used to playing with dice chips, which are clay composite chips, but there's a whole world of different poker chips, old casino chips that you can buy. I'm going to talk about where you can primarily get them, ballpark ranges, and then kind of the details and everything about that. So without further ado, let's go on, get into the video, get you guys some knowledge, and hopefully you guys can go buy yourself some poker chip sets, old casino chips, get your little man cave set up, or ultimately whatever you want to do. So hope you guys enjoy, and yeah, let's get into it. So ultimately the first version, I'm going to be looking kind of over here at my notes, but first version we're going to be talking about our clay composite home game chips. These are going to be your dice chips, your suited chips, ace jack, ace king, laser Las Vegas sign chips, anything that you can kind of think of that's 11.5 gram or 14 gram, anywhere in that ballpark range. There are Nevada Club brass chips that are 16 gram. Those are also considered home game chips, but you're thinking anything in the realm of 11.5 gram, generic designs, dice around the mold, suits around the mold, ace jack, kind of stuff like that. Those are all clay composite chips. So when I'm talking about clay composite, most people always have this notion of, or this thought, that old chips or any chips are clay chips. Those are the best chips that money can buy, clay chips. Unfortunately, they stopped making clay chips in like the 1940s or early 30s, somewhere around there. After then, there's been no 100% clay chips. Most chips produced nowadays, even like the Paulsons, they're clay mixed with plastic and stuff like that. There's a very different feeling from a Paulson that was made in the 70s, like this Fremont $1 chip, compared to a Paulson made nowadays, let's say for Resorts World or some new casino that opened up recently. But like I said, you have your clay composite home game chips, 11.5 grams in weight. Those are going to be metal slug in the middle, so they're going to have this kind of tinky sound to them. I don't have any here at home, but these are generally the chips. They have dice around the mold. They're what you find in Walmart, Amazon. If you type in poker chip online, that's what you're going to find. And yeah, you can find them in retail stores across the US, stores in Vegas like Spinettis Gaming Supplies, and other. I'm sure you could probably find them at Walmart. I know a whole bunch of people order them off Amazon because they come in sets. They're sold in rolls, generally rolls of 25. But I think you can order sets, sets with a case and everything like that, all over the websites, all over the world, Amazon and stuff like that. So clay composite home game chips are what everybody knows are poker chips, and the most standard chips that you can get, the cheapest chips money can generally buy, and so on and so forth. Let's get into the second one, which is going to be classic poker chips. So classic poker chips, or CPC as most people on PCF and Poker Chipper know them as, is currently owned by David Sarles and David Sprague. They're they're a duo, chip collecting duo. They got into the hobby, early on. They purchased ASM, which was Atlantic Standard Mold, and that converted into CPC, which is classic poker chips. ASM was known for making chips, I think, from the 80s up until early 2000s, something like that, or the late 90s. And yeah, they made chips for actual casinos all over the US, I think all over the world. They had their different molds, horsehead, Roman mold. There were quite a few different molds, which are still available on CPC's website, because CPC ultimately did get all the molds that ASM had, all the colors, all the the inlay inserts, inlay punches essentially, and everything that you would generally need to make a casino chip. CPC got from ASM, which makes it great. because the poker chip community has the opportunity to go to them. You can order a chipset, make it however you want it. You have different color options, different inlays, different edge spots. The whole world is yours when it comes to creating a whole chipset that you like. And these are going to be the actual, they're still clay composite chips, but they're more so clay, and they feel a lot more like a casino chip would. And like I said, same thing. I wish I had one chip that I could show off here at home, but they're with the rest of my chips, which are somewhere else. But yeah, I've made I've made a video talking about designing a whole set for CPC, which was pretty fun. Along with that, there's different molds, so you can get small crown chips, large crown. You can get H mold, horse head, let's see, Roman mold, die square mold. There's probably 20 different molds you can choose from on CPC's website to, fully dial in that exact, chipset that you want. Of course, with that, there are different price ranges. So chips can vary from, being like $1.20 a piece all the way upwards to, I think you can get as expensive as maybe 8 to 9, maybe even higher depending on the edge spots. I've seen people do rainbow chips, which I'm sure those are not cheap to have made. But you can get as simple as solid chips, solid color chips, simple, let's say like a 314, which is 3 1/4-inch edge spots, or even like a 4014, which is 4 double, 1/4-inch spots. So there's essentially 2 different color spots on 4 different sizes of the chip. You can do that. There's, probably 20 or 30 different edge spot variations, tons of different colors you can choose from. The world is your oyster when it comes to CPC and creating a custom chipset from them. And I don't know, it's super fun to go on the website just to mess around. It's fun to design inlays, design custom chipsets. I do it for people on PCF, on Poker Chipper. I do it for work stuff at Spinettis. And I don't know, it's the coolest thing in the world just to sit there and tinker with artwork, make custom chips for people, and really bring somebody's vision that maybe that isn't artistic. They have a draft or an idea, and you make that final product for them. So I've always enjoyed CPC. It's a great product, great chips, and super cool stuff. So the third style of chip we're going to be talking about are hybrid or ceramic and hybrid ceramic mold chips, which are they've started popping up in the last 2 years. So I think you guys are going to enjoy this one. So let's get right into that. Okay, so number 3 on our list is going to be ceramic and hybrid ceramic chips. I recently made a video about hybrid ceramic cap dash chips, which are like these treehouse chips that are here. Made a video talking about those because they're something cool. They're like the actual small crown chips that were used by or made by TR King back in the day, except they're on a ceramic chip. They're essentially a hybrid ceramic. So it's a ceramic chip that's molded and has an actual inlay on them. Whereas back in the day, as far as like the 70s and 80s, there was a company called Chipco International, which was creating ceramic chips for casinos in the home market, where you could fully customize, a chip. Most of the time you only had maybe like an inch or maybe like a 7/8, inlay to design. Let me show you just an example. This chip is from the 60s, Nevada Club, Nevada Launch 25. You only have that certain amount of space to, work with. So, Chipco back in the day, they gave you the whole, area. Like this chip. This is Bally's Paris chip, Bally's $1 chip. This chip is a Chipco, ceramic. You have the whole space to play with, the whole space to design. If you have a full face image, you can do that on there. You want the chip to be all blue, you want the edges to be blue, but you want some writing on the edges. They made that happen. The same goes for today. You can still order from Chipco, although if you're in the if you order directly from Chipco, the chips start somewhere like $1.10 or so. So they're not obviously as cheap as they used to be. They're a little bit more expensive. You have to order a larger quantity and so on and so forth, but definitely still available. It's not the same owners. Chipco is now owned by Game On, so it's actually called Game On Chipco. And then Sunfly is also a manufacturer out of China, but they offer different types of ceramics. I think a hybrid ceramic is available through them, but it's like a no mold ceramic, or no mold hybrid ceramic, which is also available through different vendors elsewhere. But yeah, same thing. There's different molds. So there's that hybrid ceramic cap dash mold, and then there's this hybrid ceramic. There's a web mold, which I hope the camera picks up the mold on here. If not, I'll post a picture of it on the screen as well. There's a couple different molds you can choose from. 39 and 43 mil chips are available. I know the large crown, I think it was the small crown, or small key or large key from back in the day, like the 60s, 70s. That mold is also available. The web mold, and then there is a hybrid ceramic cap dash mold, which at the moment is a private mold, but still definitely available through pokerchipper.com. The other molds are public, and you can get them, let's say, if you search on the internet, you can find them. I can post links in the description directly to the seller, or different, group buys. If you're willing to wait a little bit longer, you can get a different kind of discounted price on PCF. And same thing goes with the hybrid ceramic cap dash. I'll post a link in the description for those. We do group buys. I think it's been every couple, 3 or 4 or 5 months on Poker Chipper for the cap dash ceramics. And yeah, you get a cheap price. You order a bunch of chips with a bunch of people. You get to see other people's artworks. And then when you finally get that chip set in hands, it's like the best feeling in the world. So hybrid ceramics are really starting to step up the game as far as casino or poker chips go for the home games. It's the closest thing, in my opinion, next to CPC, as far as getting an actual legit molded chip set in like a house for under like 70, 80 cents a chip. You're getting these chips with the actual inlay. You have the inlay art. You have the ability to customize the chip, different edge spots. Obviously, this is all vector stuff. So whatever you create on the computer translates onto the chip itself, as far as colors, designs, patterns, whatever your mind can think of, ultimately can be put on a ceramic chip, whether it be a hybrid ceramic or just a standard ceramic. Whatever you want to think of. You want to make it a business chip, you can make it a business chip. You want to make it like a home use chip, you can make it a home use chip. You want to make it a drink token, a buy-in token, a add-on chip. Whatever you want to do, it is all available with ceramics. You choose what you want to do, the colors, the patterns, the style, the edge spots, everything. You do it, you design it, send the artwork, get it done, delivered to your house, delivered to your apartment, your boat, whatever you want it gets delivered to you, and you have like a sick chip set for under $1 a chip, and there's no complaints. Yeah, those are ceramic and a hybrid ceramic molded chips, like I mentioned. So fourth one, we're going to be talking about obsolete old casino chips. So let's dive right into that. So like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about obsolete casino chips, which are old chips. Let's say you can think of first edition Bellagio's, any casino chip that was previously used in a casino back in the day. Primarily, most people do collect Nevada, Las Vegas, Reno, whatever it be from Nevada, but there are a lot of sets from Washington that have popped up online, California, all these old chip sets from back in the 70s and 80s. California has a bunch of them because it's such a big state. They used a lot of Paulson's, a lot of TR King chips, which are the large crown, small crown chips. Then there's a lot of stuff from Nevada, which was Paulson. You have Aerodi, T-mold, large crown, small crown, anything, almost any different type of mold you can think of mainly in Nevada. And then along like the Midwest and East Coast, there's a lot of illegal chips, a lot of illegal clubs. So they use T-mold, Hub, and a bunch of other different molds that were primarily only what I've seen for illegal casinos, unless you had some sort of supplier or contact through those manufacturers, you were able to get those chips. So if you want obsolete old casino chips, you can definitely reach out to places like Spinettis Gaming Supplies in Las Vegas. They have one of the largest inventories of old casino chips in the world. And then there's also vendors, you can find them on PCF, you can find them on eBay. I know primarily for recently closed casinos, you can go on PCF and find the chip room. About 1 or 2 times a year, there's a casino that closes, they're able to buy all the old casino chips that they had, and then they resell those to the people on PCF for a pretty dang good price. Recently on Black Friday, you were able to get Tachi Palace, which was in California. You're able to get used Paulsons for like 30 cents a piece. One's 5s, 25s. The new Harrah's New Orleans chips were there, the secondary chips. You were able to get Starburst or like solid Paulsons, which I believe some of them were leaded, for like 50 cents a piece. And then a whole bunch of other stuff. There's been Indiana Grand the last few years. A whole bunch of other ones. The Isle Pompano was a recent one where there was oversized 43 mil chips. But places like that, Chip Room, Spinettis. Spinettis is a big one if you really want the old stuff. In Nevada, huge collection of old Nevada gaming chips. Like I said, from Nevada, Las Vegas, Reno, Virginia City, Sparks, any of these small towns in Nevada. The Spinettis has a lot of that stuff, and most of the time it's for a pretty good price. Obviously, you got to think these are old chips that were, whether somebody had a huge collection of them, they went and bought them, or someone whatever the story may be. These are the difference between ceramic chips or like custom chips like that is, you're looking at ceramic chips are somewhere like, let's say like 50 to 60 cents a piece. Old casino chips can run up to $12 a chip. So for a rack, you might be looking at $800 for a rack for just 100 chips. And then ceramic chips, you're looking for like $800 for maybe 1,200 or 1,350 chips. But that's the difference between the quality. You want old historic chips that have a story. They have the grit that people have used. They've played with them. And then, brand new ceramic chips. There's two totally different ballparks. But it's, are you a collector of old chips, or you just want to play home game chips or home games with the chips that you buy? So two totally different worlds as far as that goes. Definitely can buy the old obsolete chips if you want to. It's just going to be a little bit harder to build a set, especially if you're looking for something particular. Prices are definitely going to vary because there's different rarities as far as chips go. Like if you have watched any of my videos, there's a ton of information I have on my channel. You can definitely learn quite a bit if you just sit there and watch some things. And then, like I mentioned, brand new hybrid ceramic or ceramic chips that were just made. There's a big difference, but there's also a huge quality difference. So, like I mentioned, it's the difference between a hybrid ceramic like this 43 mil web mold chip and a old TR King chip from Nevada Club, Nevada Lodge. That was in Lake Tahoe during the 60s and 70s and so on and so forth. So just something to think about if you wanted to go that route. And yeah, let's get into our fifth one, which is going to be plastic custom chips or plastic poker chips. So our last topic or last kind of tier is going to be number 5, which is plastic poker chips. Plastic chips can be made or manufactured by manufacturers like Matsui and Abiyati, and you can find them on Alibaba, I think it's Alibaba, but they're not going to be the same as Matsui and Abiyati. Matsui chips are made all over the world. They have headquarters in the US, Europe, Asia, anywhere in the world they have headquarters. Abiyati, I think, is primarily in Italy, I believe. But both, they create, chips for casinos, but they also make chips for home use people. Both make chips and jetons plaques. So you're looking at a totally different world as far as like CPC. CPC makes just clay chips or clay composite chips. Matsui makes plastic chips. They make jetons. They make acrylic plaques. So the jetons and plaques are both acrylic. Same thing goes with Abiyati. Abiyati makes plastic chips. They make acrylic jetons and plaques. So many different weights for different styles of chips. You can get chips that actually have solid metal, or you can get chips that just have a coin inlay. You can get chips that have just like an inlay sticker. But the thing with those chips and manufacturers, Abiyati, Matsui, they have select molds and select colors you can choose from. So The difference between that and like a hybrid ceramic or ceramic like I was talking about, ceramics, whatever you see on screen, you can create. When it comes to Obsolete and Matsui, there's only a select, maybe 20 or 30 different molds you can choose from as far as what the face looks like and the edges. And then the color is the same thing. There's probably 25 or 30 different options on those. When it comes to artwork though, artwork for the inlay or the coin inlay or whatever it may be, you can go balls to the walls with that. You can create whatever you want, however you want. With the inlays, you can create full color. Coin inlays is like a punch. So it's a piece of metal, gets punched with the design, and then that gets put in the chip. So like I said, there's different weights for different styles of chips. That also includes different price ranges. So they can make as cheap as like roulette hot stamp chips, or they can be as expensive, the solid chips that are like $5 a chip or something like that. Ultimately, like I said, depends on the style, depends on the weight, depends on what you want to do for the chips, depends on how many you order. Because if you order like 300, which I think is the minimum, I think, per style, there's a bigger difference on price from 300 to, let's say, 2,000. I'm not sure who would order 2,000 of one style of chip for their home game, but there are definitely people that do that. Casinos do that, and like I said, there's a big price range difference. Along with that, you have to take into consideration the shipping price. So I'm not saying that Obsolete and Matsui chips are bad. It's just there's different ballparks. That's the whole reason I'm making this video, is so people understand that there's different variants, different ballparks, different price ranges for all these types of chips. It depends on what you want. This is a 2025 poker chip buying guide to help you guys, learn what you want in a poker chip set for home, whether it be a home, whether it be for casino, card room, social club, whatever you guys want to, use it for. I hope you guys can use this knowledge that I talked about in this video to help find a casino chip or poker chip set for your home, and then so on and so forth. So I hope you guys enjoyed the information I talked about. If you did, please drop a like. If you have any comments, put those down below. Hopefully you guys did learn some things about different types of poker chips or casino chips for home use, whether it be for, like I said, home use, actual card rooms, social clubs, whatever you guys want to use chips for. I've seen people use chips for Monopoly, horse racing games, and so many different types of things. It depends on what you want to use them for. It depends on how much you want to spend. It depends on the design you want. It depends on so much. So I hope this video was beneficial to you. If it was, like I said, please drop a like. Put some comments in the comment section. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. I'm stumbling on my words for some reason, but please consider subscribing. Definitely a lot of videos coming in 2025. That's poker chips, custom poker chips, casino history, old casino, obsolete chips, and the same stuff I've been making. I just want to make it so we have a fun year. We get to learn some things. We get to grow and just make it ours. So last time, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Put those comments down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Ain't nobody like me. Ain't nobody like me. Ain't nobody like me.